If you're in a pinch and only have a few minutes to prepare a dungeon for your upcoming session, Donjon is one of the best random dungeon generators that we've ever come across. I'm John from dumbestdnd.com, and today we're taking a look at Donjon, a website that has a lot of random generators, but primarily want to look at the random dungeon generator for D&D 5e. The URL is pretty simple. It's donjon.bin.sh. Don't worry, you're not going to get a virus going to it. But it is French for dungeon. Going to random dungeon generator, you can see I've generated one over here on the right side. We're going to do a couple of things. First, we'll go through the different settings, and then I'll show you a quick way to get a 999 room dungeon in under a minute. If you're only looking for that, feel free to go ahead and scroll forward. First up, you have your basic information that will generate some of what is inside of the dungeon itself. Dungeon name. If you don't like this one, you can just hit refresh. Dungeon of Eldritch Annihilation, the Tomb of Zerum the Lich, the Labyrinth of Genthuza. Along with that, whatever you name it, you can also change your party's level. So my party currently is at level 6, and there are only 3 of them. And we're going to go with an aquatic dungeon. So running Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And we'll see what this can come up with. If I hit random dungeon, it's going to populate seed and all of these other settings on the side, along with a preview of what that looks like. Now, if I say construct dungeon, I'm going to see what we get here. It's a very minimal dungeon, but it does let me know that the walls are made of coral, the floor is made of sand, and we have a lot of different aquatic monsters that we have to deal with. So lizardfolk shaman, black dragon wormling, a sea hag, Sahuagin priestess. All of them are then associated with their individual rooms, along with some treasure potentially, and hidden features. So room 4, we have a hidden treasure. If we look back up here, where is that hidden treasure within the 4th room? I don't know. That's up to you. So you'll have to make some decisions about how exactly your dungeon is populated, but hey, you're not going to do all the work for you. At the end of the day, you got to do a little bit of thinking. It also lets you know the CR of the creature and where you can find it. So Monster Manual, page 204 for the Lizardfolk Shaman. All right, but if we go back to the random dungeon generator, let's take a look at the different features now. So dungeon size, pretty straightforward. We have fine, which is going to be an extremely tiny little dungeon. That goes all the way up to colossal. And so in most cases, this is talking about how many grid spaces will this take up. So colossal, I think, is going to be 50-ish wide, or maybe even further. Let's find out. So yeah, this one is gigantic. We can look all the way across, and in total, how many rooms did this end up being? Scroll all the way down. It's ended up being 321 rooms of a dungeon. Every room talks about the entryways, talks about any traps that might be in there, monsters, treasure if they exist. Again, this is why this is my favorite. Like, it is so fast in terms of how it generates, and there's so much that you can explore and understand and change. Like, this is not necessarily the end product. You're going to take this, you're going to update it with the monsters that make the most sense for you, and add additional flavor. You can also change the dungeon layout. So cavernous, make it a bit more round here. A lot of different options within the actual layout of the rooms and the dungeon itself. Peripheral egress is just on the edges of the map. Do we want there to be tiling? Do we want anything else to exist there? Room layout, this is where we have sparse, dense, scattered, or symmetric. So if it's symmetric, everything is going to feel like it all fits together. We'll change dungeon layout back to square here. All of this is extremely straightforward. I'm explaining it in very loose terms because ultimately, you're going to find the thing that suits your dungeon best, and especially from random generation. For your doors, this just gives you the flavor text within the PDF that will be generated. So are they basic doors? Are they secured and locked? Standard doors, death traps, any sort of trap that may exist on the door itself. Corridors, we have labyrinth, errant, or straight. I normally choose straight just because it looks more like a straight shot. We'll remove dead ends as well. Is my preferred. We'll actually go back to labyrinth for this. And then stairs. Are you entering or exiting? Are there multiple layers to the dungeon? If yes, then go ahead and say yes. If not, go ahead and just say no. No, I don't want any stairs in here. This is a single level dungeon. Then map style, you can adjust this as much as you want. Steampunk, I tend to just use standard. A lot of times I'm printing this out for myself and then I'm just drawing the dungeon as they go through it. You can also update to hex grid if you prefer. Now, if I say construct dungeon, it's going to go ahead and create one for me. So we have a random dungeon. We have all the different rooms. If I click on the 4, for example, it'll take me down to 4 and I can see, all right, this leads to room 35 inhabited by a mimic. It's got additional features. It's got a secret door as well. Now, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see that there's back to settings, which we can go back to and adjust this particular map. You can also hit download, and this is where you're going to get a majority of the things if you're printing it out and you're not just using it on the computer. If you download the map, this will be all the details of the map, the legend, the traps, the secrets. If you just want the player's map though, this is the download option for you. You hit player's map and you can only see what the players will see. So removing the numbers, removing the secrets, pull this open here. Yeah, so you can see very plain, nothing in there. So this is what you want if you are going to print it out and slap it down in front of your players. All right, now, if we want to get real crazy, we can go ahead and go back. We'll go back to the random dungeon generator. I'm going to say this is a 3rd level party. It's going to be 6 individuals. We're now going to create a 999 room dungeon. We already did a smaller one, but in Donjon, you're going to create a custom size. We're going to go 200 by 200 in terms of the layout for the grid. We're gonna, it's going to end up square anyway because it's 200 by 200. Room layout, dense, room size, medium, doors, corridors, remove dead ends, all stairs, no. All right, now we let it do its magic, construct the dungeon, and momentarily we will see 999 rooms. Here we have the Dread Delve of Horror. This is a 999 room dungeon. You can see it farts out at some point here at the end and just starts making labyrinthine hallways because it doesn't go above 999, nor should it. Like really, you never need more than 999 rooms in a dungeon. I've barely even used more than 15 in a dungeon so far in my DMing, but if you need the next campaign for 3 years of your life, here is the perfect dungeon for you. How about you? How would you end up using this tool? Do you have any other random dungeon generators that you prefer? Let us know below and we'll be sure to check it out. Till next time, thanks for watching.